Birds of Celtic magic ride, soaring over Erin, bathed in morning light through the ancient stones, and the hawthorn's soft bloom, chasing shadows, dispelling the gloom. The old woman by the hearth, her eyes like the sea, she tells of the raven and what it can be. A message from far lands, or a soul taking flight across the deep valleys and into the night. Oh, little wings of wonder, birds of Celtic magic ride, soaring over Erin, bathed in morning light through the ancient stones, and the hawthorn's soft bloom, chasing shadows, dispelling the gloom.
Ireland's coastline, it's more than just a dramatic, beautiful landscape, right? It's actually home to some of the most important seabird colonies in all of Europe. We're talking hundreds of thousands of birds, all gathering here for one single crucial purpose: to raise the next generation. And when I say gathering, I don't just mean a few nests here and there. No, for a few short months every year, these vertical cliff faces are completely transformed. They become these vibrant, chaotic, and jam-packed cities of birds. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is life really like inside one of these spectacular, noisy, and fragile cities? Well, let's take a tour, from the high-rise apartments on the ledges to the hidden suburbs underground, to see how these incredible ocean travelers manage to survive on the very edge of our world. To really get what's going on here, you have to remember that these birds are true nomads of the ocean. They spend almost their entire lives out on the vast Atlantic. The only reason they come back to these specific, crowded bits of land is for that one vital job of breeding. Okay, so our tour is going to start in the most obvious part of the city, the high-rise apartments. We're talking about those narrow, windswept cliff ledges where life is lived completely out in the open. It is crowded, it is noisy, and believe me, it is competitive. Now, if you look closely, you'll meet two of the main tenants, the Razorbill and the common Guillemot. At first glance, they look kind of similar, but they've figured out different ways to live together. It really comes down to their beaks and their choice of real estate. Razorbills like the more sheltered spots, the little crevices, but the Guillemots, they brave it out on the most exposed ledges. So just how crowded is it? Well, get this. Common Guillemots have the highest nesting density of any bird on Earth. You can have as many as 20 birds packed into a single square meter. It's unbelievable. But it's not just a space-saving thing, it's a brilliant defense strategy. If you're a predator, trying to snatch an egg from the middle of that crowd is next to impossible. But wait a minute, how do you keep an egg from rolling off a narrow ledge when you don't even have a nest? This is where evolution is just genius. A Guillemot's egg isn't round, it's pear-shaped. So if it gets bumped, it doesn't roll off, it just spins around in a tight little circle. Such a simple, elegant design that literally means the difference between life and death. All right, now let's move away from the hustle and bustle of the public ledges and head to the hidden suburbs. You see, just beneath the grassy tops of the cliffs, there's a whole other city. A secret world of tunnels and burrows you might not even realize is there. And this is the kingdom of Ireland's most beloved seabird, the Atlantic puffin. These guys are master excavators, and they create these huge underground networks where they can raise their chicks in total safety, hidden away from any predators circling up above. The life of a baby puffin, or a puffling, is pretty wild. It's raised deep inside a dark burrow, fed on little fish for about 40 days, and then one night, all by itself, under the cover of darkness, it leaves the burrow for the very first time and makes a solo trip down to the sea. It's just an incredible, instinctive leap of faith. But puffins aren't the only ones living underground. There's also the Manx shearwater. Now, this bird is so careful about predators, it only comes to its burrow at night. And when it does, the colony just erupts with these eerie, wailing screams. Seriously, they're often described as demonic or otherworldly. It's the kind of sound that would give you chills. And their life of extremes doesn't stop there. After raising their chick in an Irish burrow, the Manx Shearwater takes off on one of the most epic migrations in nature. It flies all the way to the coast of South America and back again. That's a 10,000-kilometer commute every single year. Just mind-blowing. Of course, a city this big needs a constant supply of food, and these birds have to be absolute masters of the hunt to feed hundreds of thousands of hungry mouths, finding fish in that huge open ocean. So first, meet Ireland's largest seabird, the Northern Gannet. This bird is basically a living missile. During its signature plunge dive, it can hit the water at an incredible 100 kilometers per hour. It is a breathtaking show of pure power and precision. So how on earth do they survive an impact like that? Well, gannets can spot fish from as high as 40 meters up. They fold their wings back to turn themselves into a living spear, and then they just plunge. Their secret weapon? Special air sacs under their skin that act like built-in airbags, cushioning that incredible force so they can do it again and again. But not everyone is a high diver. Our friend the Puffin uses a completely different method. It dives from the surface and uses its wings to propel itself, basically flying underwater with a grace that it, well, definitely does not have in the air. And that's the trade-off. To be such a powerful underwater swimmer, the Puffin has these short, stubby wings. And in the air, that means it has to work incredibly hard, flapping up to 400 times a minute just to stay airborne. It's a classic case of being a master of one trade and, let's say, a little less graceful at another. But you know, for all their amazing adaptations, for all their resilience, these buzzing cities are fragile. The hard truth is that Ireland's seabird colonies are facing a storm of threats that puts their very future in danger. The challenges are really coming from every direction. Climate change is warming the oceans, which makes their main food sources move to different waters. Overfishing means they're in direct competition with us for what's left. Marine pollution like plastic and oil is a constant threat. And then on land, predators that shouldn't be there like rats and mink can completely wipe out a colony's next generation. So what can be done? Well, the good news is these cities can be protected. And a big part of that starts with us, with understanding our role when we visit these incredible, sensitive places. The rules for being a good visitor are simple, but they are so vital. Sticking to the paths, keeping a respectful distance, and of course, leaving no trace. By supporting licensed, responsible tourism operators, you're making sure your visit actually helps rather than harms. It's all about being a respectful guest in their home. When you think about it, these birds connect the poles. They connect the continents. They connect us to the health of our oceans. Their spectacular, noisy cities are like a barometer for the planet. So we have to ask ourselves, what will their silence tell us if we fail to protect them?